Boys, let's cut the schnitzel here. Brandenburg is horrible in EU5. It's one of the worst experiences I've ever had in this game. It's not fun, it's challenging, and we decided to play it on very hard AI just to see how much worse it can get. We took that little fledgling nation and we turned it into a viable one. This campaign, I'm going to show you how you can do that as well. And if we get 5,000 likes, I'm going to do a Teutonic into Prussia campaign to illustrate how much stronger that path would be. Now, I've got also a little bit of a request. If you enjoy the content, you want to see more of this, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 250,000 subs by the end of December, which is very fast approaching, so I don't think it's gonna happen, but at least I gotta try, right? And also, if you haven't gotten the game for yourself or you want to get any game from Paradox website, use my link. I really would appreciate it. Now strap yourselves in, because this is gonna be a rough one. So as Brandenburg, we've got one major issue, the fact that we have a lot of different cultures. We can fix this a little bit. And why is it bad, by the way? It's bad because more cultures means less cores if we're not accepting those particular cultures. Remember that you need at least 50% accepted or primary culture to core an integrated location, as well as you cannot levy those units because they're not accepted. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to society and we're going to start accepting the Markish people because it only costs us 0.15 to accept Markish. We can do the same with Eastern Pomeranian because they also speak German and are in the German culture group, which is why it costs only 0.15 to make them as well an accepted culture. And we can make Eastphalian a tolerated culture, and whenever we get 5 prestiges again, we can also make them an accepted culture. We are over the cultural capacity by a tiny little bit, and that is because we are currently accepting, or better yet, tolerating Polabian, but we still have a lot of population. We've got Kashubians 15% of the country, Poles 7% of the country, and all of these pops are not getting recruited to fight for us. Even the Polabians are not getting recruited to fight for us. I do have a little bit of a solution to that, however. Namely, we're going to go to diplomacy. We're going to create a custom subject in this little province here. This is in fact an integrated province, so we're losing cores. Well, we're losing integrated locations, but it's not the end of the world. Hear me out. We're going to turn this into a vassal, give it to the worst character we can possibly get our hands on. And why did we do this? Well, this area would have had basically zero control after 1 month when the Viddlesbach event triggers anyway, and we would have gotten no money out of it, no levies, nothing of the sorts. But now, with them as our subject, because it is already integrated, this area from us, because we gave them an integrated area, not a conquered area, it will become a cored province after we unpause. Because if you click on this nation, you see that they take the majority culture and majority religion of whatever province they spawn in. That would be Kashubian and Catholic. So once they core this up, they will be able to get money, they will be able to get levies, so whenever we do our wars against Magdeburg and other areas, which we will initially attack to get more Brandenburgish cultures, we'll also have about 1,000 give or take soldiers from our little subject to the east, which otherwise would have just been a waste of space. Now, since we got that out of the way, we will start getting our researches. Organized religions, monthly diplomats plus 0.05, so we get those extra diplomats earlier, the extra guilds as well. We're doing researches that we can get something out of them as soon as they finish researching, and I call them researches, but they're actually advances. Cost of purchasing food is also really good, as is construction speed and institution growth. The rest, doubt we're going to be able to research this, because by that point we should have Renaissance spawn, so we can start researching Renaissance advances. Government-wise, we start with the Magriavat government reform, which is absolute dog schnapple, but we'll keep it for the time being because it's expensive to replace it. Remember that replacing a government reform is going to cost you 20 stability, just as much as removing a government reform costs 20 stability. So we're going to give out the autocracy second government reform. This is going to increase our crown power a tiny bit at the cost of increasing aristocracy to a tiny bit. We've got quite a few privileges given out from day one. We will revoke the communal lands, which pushes us towards decentralization. That will piss off the commoners by 40%. So we're going to give the common militias, that increases our peasant levy size, levy combat efficiency, and we're going to need a second privilege to give out because they're still disloyal. So we're going to give out the access to royal ecclesiastic courts, which has put them back up to 40%. That's not too bad. The other estates are still pretty disloyal. Not much we can do. The nobility is probably the one we need to care about the most, though, because we don't want them to rebel at all. We also want to give out a couple of privileges for the burghers, namely the urban development grants for the extra monthly development. This is for the rest of the campaign. So eventually, once we start stacking up different modifiers, this will give a lot more than just 0.01. We're also going to give out elaborate court life for the nobility because it gives cultural influence plus 20%, and it only gives 20% increase in power for the nobility. If we go to our values, we are still moving towards decentralization by 0.08 each month because of the various policies that we've got enacted, and still quite a few of the privileges, namely the market fairs and fortification licenses, push us towards decentralization. We just need to start slowly moving towards centralization. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign one of our cabinet members to change societal values and push us towards centralization, and give this out to whichever one of our cabinet members has the best ability. I'm actually going to give to the second guy, Berthold Sealand. Why am I doing that? Because you need diplomatic ability to change societal values. However, this guy is good in all three fields, so I would like to use him for a variety of different tasks. We're going to start by increasing control in our capital province. Once the control is high enough, once we reach the max cap in all of these provinces, we're going to change him, and we're going to do assimilate pops into culture, because we want at the very least our capital province and a couple of adjacent provinces to be Brandenburgish. Rivals, we're going to go for Magdeburg. We'll do our best to get Magdeburg out of the way as soon as possible. They've got a lot of Brandenburgish pops, so that would be a massive W for us. We are, however, playing on very hard, so this is gonna be a bit of a pain. They have 20% extra discipline, and I'm pretty sure they have more levies than us as well. So yes, they got double the amount of levies that we have. So this little subject we made is gonna really come in handy. He's gonna have to work double time to pull his weight, really. Next up on the economy tab, we're gonna automate all of the taxes, because I do trust the AI to keep the balance at 50% satisfaction. Basically tax only as much as it allows to reach 50% satisfaction for our estates, and we're going to mint as much as possible till we reach 0.00 so we don't get any inflation. Cost of court, crank it up to maximum. Diplomatic spending to 0 because we don't really care about it too much. We have one subject, it's more than enough. The current diplomatic output that we have 1.4 out of 1.41. that is the literal definition of equilibrium. Okay, if you haven't watched the movie, you missed out. Fun fact, Sean Bean doesn't die in that movie. I highly recommend you get some settings done. You probably noticed how my vassal has the same color as me. That is because if we go to our settings and we go to map, we can choose if the subject uses overlord name and if the subject uses overlord color. Click yes on both of these. Oh, make sure you click in graphics also, maximize tick speed. What this does is it's going to prioritize CPU usage. So in essence, game is going to be faster, but frames are going to be dropping. Definitely going to be dropping. And since we are in the inputs, guys, very important to know, because you will need this, go to input binding and go all the way down to rivers. Keybind your river. Why are we doing this? Because if we then click that particular keybind, we see what rivers we have around the map. Why is that important? Because rivers can lower proximity cost, especially if your capital is downstream from a river. It will lower proximity cost by 30, which is a huge amount. And you can also build bridges on rivers as long as you have a road built before you start building the bridge. That also lowers proximity by 5%, which is a huge deal. Now, why is this not a default map that you can check from here? I don't fucking know. Ask Paradox, man. I'm just telling you to do it. Now, you probably also guessed it, guys, but as Brandenburg, we're not gonna have an amazing time economically. It's gonna be a struggle. Buildings wise, boys, we're gonna build a marketplace. In fact, we're gonna build 2 marketplaces because we can afford to, but no more than that because we might be in trouble here. We also don't have much loans we can take from the estates, only 240. So financially, it is not going to be nice. Oh, look, guys, it's the von Viddlesbach of Brandenburg. A unique flavor for Brandenburg that screws over our control, lowers our legitimacy by 40, and gives us the amazing Viddlesbach neglect, lowering our max control by 10% and legitimacy and everything else. We have to navigate the Viddlesbach investment score, either bring it below 15 or increase it to get rid of the Viddlesbach neglect. Until that time, check it out, baby. 0 control everywhere. Let's go. Oh boy. Not even in our capital. We got 50% control in our capital, bro. What is this, man? What is this? Why does Paradox hate Brandenburg? Explain that to me. Oh, and we also have a succession crisis now because you guessed it, we're below 50 legitimacy. So there's a 1% chance each month that we get a succession crisis unless we get 50 legitimacy. But don't worry, that 1% is going to turn to 99%, except when I'm sieging down fortifications. That's right, I'm 99% sure either the coup or the succession crisis will trigger in the next few months. Just wait for it. Also, probably should have mentioned we have another subject here, Lusatia. We're going to be improving relations with Lusatia because we would like to annex them eventually. Oh my god, 1 Viddlesbach investment. Holy shit, we're back in business, boys. Do we get 1 or do we lose 1? The difference is, do we want to work our way towards the Hohenzollerns or do we want to get into the main Viddlesbach line? All right, Chad decided we're gonna combat the robber barons. I guess we're gonna get the 1 Viddlesbach investment. It's only gonna take me 1 trillion years to get rid of that now, guys. I guess good events do trigger. Stendhal gets the secondary estate in Tangermlumden, which is going to give us a local proximity cost minus 50% and a local proximity source. This is a very, very good modifier. It costs 44, but it is 100% worth it. We're going to have to take a few loans, boys. Also, I am going to be deleting my fortification in Berlin because I cannot afford to have 1 in Berlin and 1 in Brandenburg. I'm sorry. It's just got to be done. And yes, in case you're wondering, we're keeping the capital in Brandenburg. We're not moving it to Berlin. Why is that? Well, because Brandenburg is a little bit more central to Germany. So it's going to help us a lot more with controlling more areas. In fact, eventually, I'm probably going to move it somewhere in the actual center of Germany much later in the campaign once we grab all of Germany. So since we are playing as an HRE nation, it is really important that we know how the HRE works. First off, you access the HRE from the little control group here, and in case for some reason, by the way, your control groups disappear, let's right click and delete all of our control groups. We delete the HRE, we delete the Pope, we delete the Altsternier Brandenburgian Union. How do we get them back? We're going to go to diplomacy, and then we're going to go to organizations, and then we click on the Catholic Church, and then we hold control and we click 1 or 2 or 3, whatever we want to assign this to. So we're going to click control 1, and from then onwards, every time we click 1 on our keyboard, we open up the Catholic Church. We're going to do the same with the Holy Roman Empire, which is going to be control 2, and the Altstädtner Brandenburgian Union. So we got them back. We can add more to this though, stuff that is important to us. So we could add, for example, the Ilkhanat, right? Everybody wants to know about the Ilkhanat. It's important for the people of Brandenburg to know the Ilkhanat exists. So clearly that's going to be control group 4. But you also can assign countries. For example, Poland, control group 5. You can assign soldiers, you can assign navies, whatever you want to assign. The way the Holy Roman Empire works in EU5 is exactly the same as it does in EU4. So if you play that, nothing new, it's just a little bit of a different interface. If you're new completely to the genre, let me enlighten you. There is a Holy Roman Emperor which gets elected by the 6 electors. The electors are 3 prince electors, us, Brandenburg, Saxe-Wittenberg is the second one, and the Kingdom of Bohemia is the other one. Palatinat's one also, so I guess there's actually 4, and I'm really bad at mathematics. Then we also have the Archbishop electors, namely Trier, Köln, and Mainz. Mainz, though, is a special one because Mainz is also the Primas Germania, which means the first in Germany, because everybody knows Latin is the primary language in Germany, so that's why they said it in Latin. They get literally just 0.1 prestige. That's it. It's a really important title with a very disappointing bonus. The Free Imperial Cities, which is literally 1 location sized. You can see on the map also, if I hover over them, you see them highlighted when I get around them. They also get some bonuses. Monthly development, so they can play super toll. They get production efficiency and burger estate satisfaction equilibrium. And if you haven't watched my Korbach run yet, check the description. It might be in the description. I've got a very, very special goldified run in the HRE, let's say. Now back to the HRE itself. We, as the elector, can vote for the HRE Emperor next. And who are we going to vote for? That's right. We're voting for ourselves. You thought we were going to vote for someone else? Well, you're freaking wrong, buddy boy. All right? Nepotism is ripe. Ripe, I say. There's certain imperial laws, fundamental laws such as the Golden Bull, which hasn't yet passed, and every single law has different policies. Based on the policies, certain things can happen or not happen. Certain bonuses can be given out. So if they steal the Golden Bull, it will not allow wars between members of the Holy Roman Empire without a proper casus belli. You also start getting imperial authority once you enact some of these different policies. There's also 313 members of the Holy Roman Empire, so little man called Voltaire is not very very happy about that. All right, looks like our cabinet member has done his job. Let's go ahead and improve our control in Altmark now. So, oh my god, this is horrible, man. Like, control is like literally non-existent. Look at this. We got 2.58 maximum control here. We got literally 0 maximum control, even though this is a integrated province. Like, what is happening right now, my brother? All right, time to call our very first parliament, and we're gonna go for an issue that is gonna be giving us as much support as possible. I would say increasing ties with neighbors would be the best option here, since we get some extra diplomats. So what we can do then, we can use the diplomats we have right now to improve relations, and we can use the support we've got to change a very particular law, traditional distribution of power. We're gonna change to favor the ruler to get the extra crown power, and we've got 8% parliament support, so we're gonna try and improve that by getting a little bit of aristocracy going. Serfdom support, why not? Everybody loves serfdom, am I right? Central council for 12 stability, yes. I was literally gonna say I kind of want to go for central council, and we got that from, no, that is just the, this might be a blessed run. This might actually be a blessed run. I'm not gonna jinx it, but this might be a blessed run. Oh my god, I jinxed it. I forget, it's over, I jinxed it. We're gonna die now, I can guarantee you. 50% support. Now we can get a casus belli on Magdeburg, and look, we're combating the robber barons again. All right, gentlemen, let's go. Attackius Maximus, General of the 8th Legions. Raise the levies. Pray G we don't die in horror. We got our units attached to us, so we can use our subject soldiers, not just our own. We got another 300 coming from our cool Kashubian subject from the east. We're gonna push for Halden Schlabadub, and then we're gonna go down into Magdeburg city itself, which we have to take out. And yes, this is in fact a city. That's why I'm attacking Magdeburg first. It is the closest city in our area. Now the cool part is we also have a lot of rebels. That is not the cool part. The cool part is that we have rebels that will pop out, but they cannot pop out whilst we are at war. So for as long as we stay in this war with the Magdeburg, the nobility has to take a chill pill. Once the war ends, the nobility is going to have to face all 3,000 of our soldiers. If we were to not be at war right now and we trigger the rebellion, we'd probably have like 1,000 soldiers we could fight with, because the nobility, as you can see, takes most of our provinces when they rebel. So that's a big problem. That's why using war to win rebellion is also a really smart tactic. All right, let's see how this battle's going. Oh man, this is gonna be very vital. If we lose this, we're so screwed right now. So let's see, they've got cavalry on the flanks, they got on the other flank levies. Their center is pretty strong actually, but we got more frontage than them. We got 4 out of 10 frontage. They only have 1 frontage in the center, so they might actually lose this. Come on, collapse. If their center collapses, they're done for, and their center looks like it's about to collapse. Let's go, baby. It did collapse. Oh, look how fast the rest is gonna collapse now. We kick some Magdeburgian ass. Okay, consolidate, leave a couple of units to siege that down, go back to Chosebus, so we unsiege what they've sieged. We should be able to wipe out what's left of Magdeburg now in their capital, and then we're gonna chase them down so they don't actually get the chance to recover from this. I can literally hear the Benny Hill show in my brain right now. It's going like I know you're going to Jericho and coming back to your capital. Let's do this about 9 more times, and then I have to siege down your stupid capital too. Oh, city taxes refused. Click, reined in the burgers. And it's time for the age of Renaissance. I love how diverse EU5 is when it comes to the focuses. You can go for the admin focus that gives minus 2.5 proximity cost, cost of court minus 1%, max literacy plus 5, or you can also go for Casus Belli creation speed, unlock marches, can hire privateers, or monthly naval tradition. Wow, gee golly, I'm not sure which one to go for. I guess I'll just click admin because the other ones suck balls. After a mere 5 million years, we managed to grab the city of Magdeburg. Meanwhile, Magdeburg unsieged literally everything around us. So now we're gonna have to whack-a-mole again. And by mole, I mean a Magdeburgian. Because we need to also grab lands from Mecklenburg, we're not gonna grab Jutlenborg, or whatever this is called, which is 81 antagonism. That's 4 nations in a potential coalition against us, which is not the worst thing. This is a very, very fair deal in my opinion. Now, we got the Rebellensteiners, boys. Remember Remember those guys? Yeah, that's right. They're around. Okay, let's go ahead and start integrating Magdeburg. Okay, I'm actually going to annex Lusatia because unfortunately there's a lot of ways of losing Lusatia. It's not a good vassal to keep. You want to annex them, and once we've annexed them, convert as much of it as possible to Brandenburgish once they've been annexed, and there's still high control in there. And we got also to set up our researches. We're going to go, of course, for proximity cost minus 2.5. So we're going to queue that up first. And we're going to do stability investment afterwards with the max literacy for burghers. This should be enough researches queued up for now. Okay, we also have enough money now to promote one of these guys to head of cabinet. That should give us a little bit of extra ability. So it should be slightly faster to integrate Magdeburg. Whoa, look at that. The rebels gave up. Finally, get an annexation casus belli on Mecklenburg. We're grabbing fabricated dispute for 25 years as a debuff, but I feel like it's worth it. And they're allied to Fulda and Munster. I don't care about either two of those. In fact, I'm not shy to say that I don't really know where Fulda is. Any German-loving streamer would know where Fulda is. Am I the worst for that? Probably. Am I gonna find out when I click? Oh my fucking god, Fulda's massive. What? Okay, maybe we should have been a little... Nah, you know what? It's fine. 1,300 is not the end of the world. We got this. We freaking got this, boys. Let's go. Okay, we should be able to crush Mecklenburg as long as they don't get reinforced by the armies of Fulda. Wait, isn't Fulda the name of the cow, actually? Isn't there a Is it Fulga the cow? Okay, I feel actually betrayed. Brunswick joined in. I was not told Brunswick would join in. It's probably because they're my rivals and they had an easy time joining into the war. Freaking hell, freaking Brunswickian. Never trust a Brunswickian, as my good friend, German friend Tommy would say. He hates the Brunswickians. I don't know why. I will teach the Brunswicki their place. So we managed to get rid of Fulda from this. Let's cancel their treaties with everybody. Same for Brunswick here. We've sieged down enough provinces to get them out of the war, and in due time too, because they're about to take our fort, so that's not good at all. Boom, get a little bit of money from them. Nice. This is how you grow as Brandenburg, guys. Ain't no economy in Brandenburg, so we have to steal everybody else's money. Just applying here my own unique tactics, clearly. Just when I was getting some good stuff happening, I get events like this. Like, why? Just why, man? Why you do me like this, game? Okay, we got a lot of war score against Munster, so oh my god, we're getting a buttload of money from them. Oh! I probably could have canceled some alliances too, but I don't care. I just love the fact that I got 400 ducats now. That's more money that I've seen the entire campaign as this nation. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I'm just gonna max out the marketplaces that I've got right now everywhere that I can max them out in, and the rest of that I'm genuinely considering to make my own market. How much would it cost? 263. That's literally all my money, bro. Oh, dude. Oh my god, the AI just made a new market in Lund. What the freaking hell? Oh, that's bad for us, because that way we're gonna have 3 markets really close to one another. Oh, that's really bad. But we're also falling into the Prague market now. Oh, well, actually not us. That's the subject of Bohemia. Bohemia is the ultimate boss in this campaign. Is this working as desired? What the hell? I mean, that's more money than we're gonna make from these lands for a very long time, but I'm still not gonna sell it because it's gonna be hard to get it from Bohemia afterwards. All right, so we basically won the war. We just gotta wait until we finish capturing their capital now. Our biggest problem right now is that we don't really have many towns and cities, so we need to found towns if we are to economically survive and thrive. Change your employment system to most profitable first, or to equality, depending on what you want to get you pushed for values for. And you want to do this at the start of the campaign. In my case, I genuinely just forgot. We will be doing most profitable first because we need to start going towards capital economy. So now we're actually going a lot towards capital economy. We would probably have been starting to get some capital economy if we did this from day one. Genuinely forgot about it. Well, because we've been in this war, we refused to peace out Mecklenburg. Little old whatever this is, I'm assuming Goslar or Vernigerbergdurg, decided to join on their side, and they lost. So now we can annex their entire nation for 26 antagonism. You might say, Ludi, why are you so aggressive, bro? Hey, they attacked me first, okay? They joined in the side of the Mecklenburgians. The problem with that is that now we actually have a lot more antagonism, so we cannot fully annex Mecklenburg unless we're willing to have 26 nations in a coalition against us. The reason I also grabbed this is because this is silver. We have also gotten pretty much close to 100% with our professional army spread, so we're gonna embrace the professional army, and now we can start going to the advances, and we're of course going to professionalize our troops as well as push down towards hoofness, so we get the cannons, also armory, so we get manpower, handgunners, and men at arms. Plus we can get plated knights. Recruitment law is going to be good too. We might cancel a lot of these, by the way, because we're gonna go for the banking or the Renaissance advances at some point once we embrace those two. We've been improving diplomatic reputation with our cabinet member, which he's not really the best at it, but he's trying his best, okay? And because of that, we've got less nations in the coalition against us, like a lot less. A lot less. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Only 90 nations in the coalition against us. So if we sit on this for a little bit longer, we might get even less. After requesting a cardinal seat for like 1,000,000 times, we did get one in Brandenburg. We're officially a big boy now, boys. Look at that. We don't have the books to build it. Oh god. Okay, I think I'm gonna peace out. I have done all I could, improved diplomatic relations, and right now it's just about 60 nations in the coalition against us. The reason we're doing this is because we've got the call to peace. So because of that, we've been accruing a buttload of war exhaustion, which is obviously not ideal. Now, I'm also gonna create subjects out of this nation, obviously. We're gonna make it into a vassal, assign it to one of the least interesting people we've got. There you go, this lady here, and she's gonna get the rest of the provinces that we took from them. We don't want to have to integrate this stuff ourselves. Boom and boom. We've literally replaced Mecklenburg with our own version. Let's check the antagonism map mode. You know what? It actually is not that bad. It really is not that bad. Most of the nations that join in the coalition or potentially join in the coalition are really tiny up north, so we don't need to worry about them much. I think I might do another subject here too, just because I don't want to integrate these two areas. And I don't want to give it to Mecklenburg because Mecklenburg feels like it's a little bit too strong already. I'm going to do it a fiefdom. There we go. There we freaking go, boys. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects right now. We still have diplomatic capacity too, so we can get more allies. And because I'm worried I might get attacked by the Bohemians, I'm gonna get some allies. Let's get Lower Bavaria for 0.6. Not bad. And let's get freaking Hesse maybe. Or actually, let's get Mainz, because that might also be good, because they might vote for us too. Same for the Palatinate. They might vote for us. It might also put us over though. Let's see. Did it put us over? It put us over by a tiny bit. Not too much, to be fair. We might just cancel some alliance. Let's see. Now we literally cannot do anything for at least 10 or so years because we gotta wait for the war exhaustion to go away, and it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be very slow unless we assign this skibbity over here to reduce war exhaustion. So then it's gonna be still very slow, but a little bit less slow. Now, considering we're right now trapped between Lund, Lübeck, Prague, I really feel like making my own market wouldn't be the worst idea. We might even attract Rupen in it, since Rupen is right next to where we would be making the market in Brandenburg. And for some reason, Lübeck belongs to Bohemia. What? It's a fiefdom of Bohemia. Dude, how did this happen? Oh my god, what is happening here, brother? All right, boom, no more money, but I need my own market. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. Just look at that. We're making 14 ducats now from the simple fact that we created our own market. That is such a massive difference right there, creating your own market. It's insane. Next step I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give market preference to a lot of nations, which is going to encourage them more to have their provinces added to my market. So we're going to do that with the fringe nations like Erfurt, like Thuringia. All of these nations here hopefully will join our market, and we're going to keep doing this so we get more and more nations in. And apparently Kamen, our own freaking subject, is not in our market fully, so we're going to give them also market preference. Oh, and look at that. Just expanding goods in our market would give us a ton more money too, because we're just lacking a lot of goods. And speaking of, let's check what we're lacking. Wheat, fur, rice, dyes, and fruit. Okay, that's not too bad. Wheat, I'm not sure we have any wheat provinces ourselves. Let me just double check on that. We got 1 wheat province. Do we have another one? We've got 3 in our lands and another 2 in our market members. So we can upgrade a little bit of these wheat RGOs, and we can also get some dye works. Do we have any in our capital? We got 1 dye maker. We can get 2 more. This is why it's a good thing to have so many allies. We're calling all of our allies to help us in this war against the nobles. Otherwise, we would definitely struggle a lot more in this. I do hate the fact that after the civil wars, always, man, I gotta assign people to increase the control because we're so far down with control now. Now, actually, since we do have our own market, I'm gonna give this privilege so we get the extra market attraction. That wouldn't be the worst idea. And I'm kind of half thinking to give control over coinage because we got the silver mine now. It's not much, but I mean, you know, it's like a lot for us. I feel like it's time for us to go ahead and embrace banking institution too. We're going back to our advances, and we're going to queue up some banking stuff too now, including banking itself. Who would have thought? The pound law canal and the max literacy is going to be huge too, because unfortunately for us, we don't have much literacy at all. Look at our literacy map mode. 5 literacy or 10. We literally are more illiterate than Moldova is, man. What the F, bro? Like, what the actual F, bro? Like, come on. And because we gave market preference to Bohemia's subject Rupin, they actually joined our market now. It's not a big deal, of course. It's just one location. It doesn't make much of a difference, but just trying to illustrate this. If we go over here, their market attraction towards us is 143 because of the market access, attraction, and the diplomatic treaties, which is, in fact, the market preference treaty that we gave them. Prague is second with 75. So now they're part of us. Beautiful. There's more subjects they got around here, including these bad boys. How do they get so many subjects, man? Look at this. Half the HRE is already Bohemian. I hate this, bro. Bohemia is way too powerful, man. Okay, let's also spend 100 ducats to make one of our crown members the head of the cabinet. So we jump from 30 to 34 crown power. Let's freaking go, baby. So I did a bit of a gamble with Kamen. I made them Brandenburgish, but they returned to Kashubian as soon as they could, because apparently Kashubian's a better culture than Brandenburgish. That just makes me feel sad, though. That actually makes me feel sad. Look at that. By giving market preference to a lot of our neighbors, our market has literally doubled in size. We've got 860 market value, whilst Lübeck is at 500. We stole most of the value from Lübeck. Oh, I love this. I actually freaking love this. We are the highest market in the northern parts of Germany. I'm assuming Köln is like double that. Yep, exactly. 1,600. Not surprised by that at all. We are the worst area of Germany, to be fair. Let's also build our sergeantry, which we should have built a while back, but I just forgot about it. We want to build this so we get at least one regiment of standing army, so we can give it to one of our family members and get more crown authority from that too, or crown power. I keep calling it authority for some reason. So we got the event to make a new capital for Brandenburg. We can move our capital to Berlin, or we can keep it in Brandenburg, and we get a little bit of centralization. Here's my take with this. If you want to LARP, move it to Berlin. It's not a bad one. The reality is, neither of these are in freaking rivers, bro. So that kind of sucks dick. Big time. If anything, I would move my capital to Magdeburg, because Magdeburg is also more central for the entirety of Germany once you get the rest of central and western Germany. Whereas Berlin's just, sure, LARPy and shit, but it's not worth it. I'm gonna keep it for now in Brandenburg, and I'll move it to Magdeburg later on. All right, we're gonna use our little Casus Belli follow through on threat, which we get from our subject Stetten to attack Vulgast, and we're gonna call in our good allies in Brunswick to help us out with this war. Boom, 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 boom. We got 6,000 soldiers, or Soldaten as they say in Brandenburg. Should be enough to take on Vulgast. Oh my god, they're recruiting mercenaries? These guys are super involved in this war. Damn. All right, boys, we got our little follow through on threat CB on Vulgast, and we're gonna try and get as much land as possible here, as well as maybe get a buttload of money from the Hansa, because the Hansa has up to 373 we can grab from them. Oh my god, yes. All right, Lüneburg is getting off scot-free here. Just a little bit of money. We're not taking any provinces because we want to focus 100% on Vulgast here. We've unlocked our recruitment law, and obviously, guys, we're gonna go for the burger levy size, because that gives us a little bit of plutocracy, and 20% burger levy size is going to be bigger later once we start getting way more burgers. Right now, obviously, we don't have that many 30,000, but we are in the process of urbanizing our areas. We're in the process of getting more and more people into our towns, and even getting roads. Look at that. A new invention in our country, roads. Wow. So yeah, we're gonna do a lot better, and we're gonna make a lot more out of having burgers recruited than peasants. Now, it does seem like for some reason Vulgast has the island of Ostrasmalan. Do I need that island? No, I don't need it. I'm just gonna grab it because I'm a piece of shit. That's why. There you go. We made them a fiefdom, so we don't have too many vassals and 2 fiefdoms. We want to have an equal amount of both. The country strength of all vassals gets calculated against our strength. Similarly, the country strength of all fiefdoms gets calculated against our strength separately from one another, right? So Chad has decided we will be selling the little island of Åland to the Swedes. This is a strategic location, so we're getting 285 ducats for it. I think that's worth it. That is very much so worth it. We can use that money to get some more roads. We are kind of lacking in the road department, so we can get road to Stendal. Maybe we can get one to Pritzwalk afterwards too. We want to get roads so we increase our proximity, so we actually have some actual control around our country. And we also need to save up more money so we start building more towns, which is how we make money. 30 ducats profit. That is wild. We're playing as Brandenburg, by the way. This is huge for Brandenburg. We're actually doing a good thing, guys. We've given the two southern provinces here to Stettin so they create more Markish people. Stettin is Markish primary culture, and I'd rather this be Markish instead of East Pomeranian, because I want to have an equal distribution of every single culture. That way it's a little bit easier keeping them in check and converting them later instead of having one major super strong culture. We're blessed, boys. We are actually blessed, boys. Our leader passed away. May he rest in pieces. And we can change our capital. We can keep it in Brandenburg if we're, you know, if we're part of the small PP gang, or the big PP gang uses that brain and checks out what's happening in from Magdeburg. Since this is on a river, we will get significantly more proximity reduction modifiers for a big chunk of Germany, right? So we can actually keep the capital in Magdeburg for the entirety of the campaign. It's pretty central, especially if we go land. We can get proximity over most of central and north Germany, even all the way to south later in the campaign, and we never need to change it again. We're pretty far from Berlin, so we might struggle a little bit with the Prussian areas, but it's not the end of the world. I feel like Magdeburg is by far the best choice. It's also a city, right? Magdeburg is actually the only city that we have right now. This will likely screw us over a little bit because we've built most of our industry in Brandenburg, so we got a lot less tax base and a lot less population. Actually, no, population is more in Magdeburg. Yeah, okay, never mind. So from every freaking perspective, Magdeburg is better, basically. We just need to use the 2,700 burghers that are just sitting there and give them jobs, pretty much. We did lose a lot of the buildings that we built in Brandenburg because we changed the capital, so we don't have the sergeantry anymore. We got to build it over in Magdeburg. However, we also have armories available now. We've researched a lot of units too, so we can use the manpower from those armories to recruit proper soldiers like handgunners, hoofnesses, men-at-arms. We're going to basically have a little bit of each because professional armies are still not a thing in this age. These regular soldiers are pretty poo-poo. I'm just happy that I got Magdeburg. It sucks though that our dynasty's kind of screwed up a little bit now, and we have to work on the dynasty a lot. First off, let's move the child to our court. His mom is the Duchess of Austria though. With this marriage union, our child, if he doesn't die, will become the leader of both Austria and Brandenburg. So if we have higher great power score, we might be able to get a union over Austria. This is way down in the future. Our dude is still 36 though, and our kid is freaking, oh, he's like 1 year old, literally. So this is the long game here. This is probably 1440s or something like that. But I feel like we might have more great power score by that point. So we should have a bigger chunk of North Germany by that point. And if we get the union with the Austrians, we secure a good puppet in the south, which we don't need to integrate. We keep them as a subject and we feed them. Well, we don't feed them anything. We use them alongside whatever other things we're going to capture from South Germany and release as subject to get proper control over the south, because we wouldn't otherwise be able to get control over the south. So this actually might play good for us. It just all depends on whether we get more great power score than them, which I'm kind of confident we can. Let's see. And check out our new map mode, boys. Look at this. We're -6 proximity because of the -30 for being downstream along a river. That is crazy, man. We could literally grab the entirety of Saxony, all of Brunswick, all of this stuff here. So we obviously should expand into the west, because that's definitely how we're going to make more money now. Wow. Imagine once we build the bridges. That's going to be even more of a big deal, because we have no bridges in our country right now. So look at that. We're building bridges along this line here, and we're going to have close to freaking 80, 90 control all the way up. I probably want to annex these guys first then. Did they integrate everything? They did integrate everything. New Brandenburg is a little bit faster, or Strelitz is a little bit faster, so I'm gonna do them just because it takes only 2 years. Oh my god, we just became the emperor. We actually just became the emperor. So the reason we became the emperor is because the Bohemians went Hussite, didn't they? The first good news, my dude. Oh man, I'm so cooked, aren't I? It's me, my allies, and a couple of other nations against an insane amount of our... Bro, this is wild. Even Serbia's on their side and Poland's on their side. Well, boys, it's time for the first Hussite war. Oh, everybody loves me. It's both good and bad, boys. It's funny how we're also the same dynasty, though. The von Luxembourg dynasty. I'm not ready for this. I got freaking 8,000 soldiers, dude. Oh, I'm so not ready for this. I'm so cooked right now. I wish I knew that this would trigger right now. Then I would just build an actual army. We could at least have a couple of freaking handgunners or something, right? We cannot even afford to build one. Oh my god. My main goal from this, of course, is to, you know, maybe grab some of the lands that they stole from us. The problem, though, is that the Papal States is the leader of this war. It's not us, because it's a crusade, technically. And taking provinces is 75 more expensive. Because we're not the war leader, we also cannot separately peace out nations once we occupy them and stuff. So we're kind of relying on the Pope right now to peace us out, which sucks pee-pee. You know, the worst thing that could happen right now is the Pope piecing out and us not getting any of our lands. I would hate that. We need 9 more war score in order to get even a single little province, or pray G that the Pope is going to be kind enough to give us something from their amazing 50% war score. Okay, they gave me Ulsan, 50% war score, and that's the best you can do, Pope. Bro, I wasted so much soldiers in this war. 1412, and we're doing significantly better. We got 45 ducats profit, which is huge. Unfortunately, our king died, so now we have a region until Sigismund von Luxemburg's gonna come of age, and he is slow, so we're not gonna have the best of leader for a few years. We unlocked our 3rd cabinet seat because of the advance, so now we're gonna make our cabinet member that's a part of the family the head of the cabinet to get even more crown power. And in the war against the Teutons, we're not the war leaders, so we're gonna see what we do here. We don't want the Bavarians to grab these lands either, because, you know. But that being said, I'm a little bit disappointed. Like, this patch has been horrible. Like, the Kingdom of Bohemia has completely caught most of the HRE. Like, literally 50% of the HRE in North Italy belongs to them. There is a patch coming that will fix that, so this will be the last part of this particular campaign. We're gonna restart the Brandenburg campaign whenever the game is ready. There's less bugs. There's also a massive combat rework, so that's also why I haven't done the combat video yet, by the way, guys, the army video. It's just the game needs a little bit of polishing, and we're getting the polishing, but it's taking a while before it happens. Of course, they just did a white piece. Okay, awesome. Now, the reason I'm making so much money is, of course, because we changed our capital to Magdeburg, which is a much better place to have your capital in. In fact, guys, I'm gonna say it, look at that. The control's 100 to 80 around the surrounding areas around the capital, right? As Brandenburg, right now, it's not worth forming Prussia, man. Like, it really is not worth forming Prussia. I want to say that, oh, look, we formed Prussia and everything, but it's just not worth it, man. It's better to just move your capital to Magdeburg, which is super central within the HRE. And then if you look at the proximity map mode, you just literally expand in the heartlands of the HRE, which is going to be predominantly towns and the cities eventually, because the AI has a tendency of upgrading their locations to towns and cities, which is good because it's going to be very urbanized. You can make significantly more money. We went from like 8 to 10 ducats when we had the capital in Brandenburg to freaking 40. Of course, obviously, if you have your place on a river, that lowers the proximity cost by so much. That is significantly better. So Magdeburg is always going to be a better location until they add Berlin and Brandenburg on rivers. These locations are not on rivers, despite the fact that they actually are IRL on the rivers. And even then, the distance between the Prussian lands and Magdeburg is massive. It's not worth even holding on to the Prussian lands directly or forming Prussia. Like, Saxony has better advances than Prussia has. It's just sad, man. I really hate saying this, but the meta is just grabbing this and making subjects out of Prussia and just forming Saxony better yet, because it's the same tier nation. We're also now dealing with the robber barons, another unique flavor that's just crushing our maximum control again. They've improved this a little bit though. Compared to previous patches, it's a lot faster dealing with the robber barons. When I redo my Brandenburg campaign, I will just have less states directly owned. So right now we've got most of our states owned by our subjects, right? Truth is, you want to have even the Uckermark area and the Neumark area owned by subjects. Just make like one province subject everywhere, and then hold on to the main Magdeburgian side and just expand into central HRE, take all of Saxony, take on all of Brunswick, and make that your power hold. That's what I'm going to do in the next run. I'm completely going to ignore Prussia until they actually give this nation some proper buffs. And I know that they're planning to give Prussia some buffs in the future, maybe even a DLC, who's to say. But right now, it's just underwhelming, man. It sucks saying this. I love Brandenburg. I love Prussia. You guys, if you've watched the channel, you know that that's true. But it's just unplayable right now. All right, let's go ahead and spam a buttload more armories, especially in our core areas, so we get more manpower and get more professional soldiers. Now, explain this to me. My leader is slow, but his kid is gifted. Ability increase during education plus 0.75 for all 3 abilities. What on earth is happening here? It's funny, but because of our subjects, Kashubian is the Pomeranian culture that survived rather than East Pomeranian, which basically got completely culturally converted here. Prussians also got a pretty decent size of pops in the Teutonic Order, and we got close to 500,000 Brandenburgish ourselves, which is not the worst. I'm seeing the AI do a lot better when it comes to cultural converting with the more recent patches, so I'm glad to see that. It's definitely a lot of changes for that, and I think future patches are going to double down on that too. I am going to leave this here, guys. It is a little bit disappointing that we did not form Prussia. Trust me, I know. I plan on doing a dedicated Prussia video as the Teutonic Order. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comment section. If we get 5,000 likes in this video, I will try and rush the Teutonic campaign a little bit faster. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to help the channel out, and get the game for yourself using my code would really mean the world to me. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.